Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me today for an interview with Hush Naidoo. He's a photographer in Johannesburg, and I will let him tell you his story. Good morning, Hush, and thank you so much for joining us. Please, will you introduce yourself
A great
and your
pleasure.
business to us?
As Mel said, the name is Hush Naidoo. I'm a professional photographer. I run a company called Jade Photography Visual Image Solutions. I'm going to say we because there's one or two other people that's involved in the business. We offer everything from photography to design to uh, videography as well as social media, basically social media uplifting of people. So we'll take your photography, pardon me, we'll take your photo shoots and we'll upload it to social media on the day so that you'll get quick tagging and quick exposure of your products. So we quite we've
And
grown a lot from just photography.
and when you say there are a number of different people in your business, have you got partners? Are they staff?
They're not staff; they're all freelancers.
Okay,
So what we do is we've banded together as a group, but we all run our own companies.
okay.
So if there's a need for a videographer, I've got one or two that I use, pull them in. If there's need for social media on the day, there's young ladies that I use and I pull them in as well. I
Okay,
just
that's awesome.
I found that type of thing easier than having staff. I mean, just if you
Yes,
imagine now doing COVID-19, I had three staff members. I
yes,
can't afford to pay them,
yes, yes.
so I did it that
And this is how businesses find sustainable models during periods like this. So that's awesome insight for the people who are watching. And how did you start your
way. No,
business?
definitely. So I'm a Cape Town bred boy. Um, I left Cape Town in 1980, beginning of 1987, to go and study in Durban. And Durban's weather is it's not for everybody. The
Yes.
humidity, and the Durban people are also they're very closed off. So unless you're born in Durban, I think people accept you easier. They don't accept outsiders as easier. So I just felt everything very, very tough. And my eldest brother was a photographer. He worked, was a press photographer for many years with a company called Rand Daily, or the newspaper called Rand Daily Mail. They closed down. And then Tony started his own photographic company in 1987. Oh, sorry, in 1985 he started it actually. And I joined him in 87. And when I joined him, he said to me, he said, Hush, I need someone to run the company for me because I'm always out shooting. And I said, Tony, I know nothing about photography. I know about becoming a teacher. I know about selling things. I don't know. So I will just backtrack a little bit. In Cape Town, I was an entrepreneur. So I've never really worked for a boss ever since I left school. I was an entrepreneur. I was in Cape Town, we call ourselves hawkers. I was a hawker. I was a vendor on the side of the road for about 3 years. I sold smoke snook, anything I could get, I used to sell. So I've always had that in my blood. I've never been a person to work for a boss. And so I said to him, look, give me some time, and I'll see. You know. And then within 6 months, I took over the company. I've literally taught myself everything about photography. I used to go to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. I used to stay there till 1 o'clock in the morning. I used to teach myself how to. Those days we did developing by hand, so there was no digital. Everything was analog. So whatever Tony used to shoot, used to bring back. I used to develop it, print it, check it, and all those things. A lot of people always ask me, like, I haven't studied photography. I must be honest. I haven't got a degree in photography. I don't have any formal teaching or studying in photography. Everything is either self-taught, books, and those, but a lot of it is taught from Tony. My brother, he literally used to stand behind me without me knowing, and every time I made a mistake, he used to give me a slap. I always tell people, I have to teach you. It's going to be very difficult because I'm going to have to slap you when you make a mistake. But I
It's a
remembered it
funny
straight
story.
away. I remembered straight away that I mustn't do that because, and I'll never forget my first photo shoot I did. I was so nervous. I did this photo shoot and everything. I took the photographs and I left it on his desk and I stood outside because I was scared I was going to get something thrown at me. And then he called me in and he just said, no, look, make sure that when you photograph a woman, make sure that her arm is not up because you don't want to see all this.
Uh,
Make sure when, that type of thing, make sure you tilt them to the sun and all those things. So my brother taught me a lot when it came to what I have now, my passion, my love for photography. A lot of people have asked me to teach them, and I actually said to people, I can teach you, but I can teach you the practical. The theory you're going to have to. We will go through the theory with you. I can obviously go through YouTube and all those things, pick up theory from other photographers who've done degrees in that. But I believe in more practical work than theory work. That's what photography. Many years ago, I photographed a. I worked for a company called. For a company. I worked for Edcon. They're still running. So I worked for Edcon. I did what they call the Jet Community Awards project for them for 5 years. So I literally traveled all over the country for them, photographing projects. And I'll never forget, I photographed this four people, old people. Now, when I say old people, they were in their 60s and 70s, sitting in a river, crushing stones so that they can fill a bag so they could sell it for 60 to 70 rand, and which they could split then to buy food in that.
wow.
And I mean, I was just thinking, yeah, I'm a man of 30 years old, 35 years old, and I don't have to worry where my food is coming from. Anyway, so I photographed these people, and I delivered the photographs to Edcon, and the marketing manager phoned me, and he said to me, Hush, I must tell you that your photographs touched everybody's hearts here because we've got a few very old Afrikaans men that are part of our board.
Mm.
And they, in their 70s as well, and when they saw these photographs of these people in the same age as they, crushing stones while they sitting in the boardroom, I could see tears in their eyes. And then this old American photographer said to me, he said, Ash, you shoot with your heart, not your head. And that is what I've been trying to teach a lot of young people.
Mm.
Photography is in your heart and it's not in your head. You can have all the theory in the world.
Mm.
The rule of thirds, make sure that the sun is this side, make sure that is that side, make sure you can have all that in your head. But if you don't have that photograph in your heart, you're never going to see it.
Mm.
All you're going to see is the theory. You're never going to see the photograph.
Mm.
And then the picture, it's just going to be a picture then. Then it's just going to be an image that I mean, everybody is now social media frenzy. So everything must be instant. So cell phone, and then they sit on all these apps for 20 minutes, recreating something that they should have got the first time when they saw it. But they recreated in apps, which to me is not photography. To me, that's all manipulation. I try as a photographer, whether it's shooting your wedding, whether it's shooting you as a family in your house or in my studio, whether it's shooting newborns, whether it's shooting just an event that I have to capture for a client, I always try and make it special. So that when you go through those pictures, you actually relive the day, because that's what photography is supposed to be. If you don't have a videographer there to capture the footage, moving footage, you as a photographer need to capture that footage as if people were moving. So when they go through their photographs, they go, oh yeah, I remember Granny. Remember what she did? At the wedding, she was dancing on the floor. So that's the moment
Yes.
you need to capture.
Yes.
Not, that's not important,
Yes.
Because I also say to people, a lot of people, that a photograph is important to everybody who sees a photograph. It will be something else that's important to them in that photograph.
Yes.
So 6 of us can look at the same photograph, and all 6 of us will come up with a different understanding of the photograph.
Yes.
Some of us will like the light, some of us like this, and some of us say, oh no, that looks nice and that looks nice. So there's never a bad photograph to me. So a lot of people always ask me, so I shoot, on average, a family portrait, I'll probably shoot about 300 images.
Okay.
And on average, I'll give my client 280 pictures.
Okay.
And a lot of other photographers go like, are you crazy? You need to only give them 20. And I always ask them, I said, okay, so you shot 300 images, but you're giving your client 20. What happened to the other 280? Were they so bad that you had to throw them away?
Yes.
No. I chose the 20 I like. I said, but that's the problem. It's the 20 you like. I remind people of a story of a friend of mine that she went to a photographer and she had some photographs taken of her and her son and, and her daughter. And her son, something happened and he lifted his head and he just burst out laughing. And the photographer captured that.
Mm.
And when they were going through the pictures, the photographer said, "Oh, not that one, not that one." And mom said, "No, I want that picture." She said, "But
Mm.
that's not a very nice picture." She said, "To you, it's not nice. To me, it's
Mm.
perfect picture because that's my son.
Mm.
That's
Mm.
his spirit." And that's the
Mm.
picture she blew up and she's got hanging in her house. Out of all the pictures um, that she got from this guy.
Yes, those are such wonderful insights. Uh, that's very interesting, and it's wonderful to hear that you actually shoot your pictures in that way. That's amazing. That's amazing. And what's your favorite material to photograph?
I think I think my favorite thing. It's actually a very difficult thing to ask any photographer. I think I know there's some photographers that only enjoy landscape. There's other photographers that only enjoy skylines. I've all my years of being in photography, um, I've always been an event photographer. Let's put it that way. I've always captured people's events. Um, when Tony was alive, um, the way Tony started the business was he did a job for Mnet when Chris Becker was still the director at the time, main director. Um, and when Tony did the job for Mnet, he shot the job at 12, and by 2 o'clock he had the photographs on Chris's desk for him to send out. Because Tony was an express photographer, so he knew there was a. So that's how Tony started his business, and that's how when I joined Tony, I was introduced to the entertainment side of photography. So we did a lot of work for Mnet for about 15, 16 years. We were the internal photographers as such. So I got to shoot a lot of behind the scenes entertainment, celebrities, big shows and all those things, Big Brother and all those type of things. So I think my niche has always been event photography. So I've done a lot of events over the last 32 years that I've been in the industry, especially the last 20 odd years now that I've been running my business on my own. So I left Tony about 12 years ago, 12, 13 years ago, and I started my own business in 2001. And and since 2001, I've been doing a lot more of that events. But I also enjoy people photography. So it's in studio with models or with just normal families. I love normal families because then you always get the fun with the kids and that. I do the odd newborn shoots. I enjoy it. I lost my passion for weddings, like a lot of photographers do, because in the
Why do you
beginning
think
we
that
do so
is?
many. Because we
Okay.
do so many.
Okay.
At one stage, I was doing at least 8 weddings a year. I mean, 8 weddings a month.
Wow.
Sometimes I was doing 2 weddings a weekend. I was doing one on a Saturday and one on a Sunday. Or I was doing one on a Friday. And I think you start losing your creativity with a wedding then, because then every
Yes.
shot is the same. You know, the couple holding each other, the
Yes.
dressing and all this. I think a lot of us become we lose our creativity, and then every shot to us seems the same. Look, there are guys in the industry, the guys in wedding industry now for the last 20 years, and they still enjoy it. And they try new things and da da da. So I stopped doing weddings. I I must tell this. It's actually quite a funny story. Well, it's a strange, funny story. So I got divorced in 2001. And before that, I was doing a lot of events with magazines like the Cosmopolitan, House and Leisure. I was doing a lot of the events for them. And for a year, I went through I think you just go through a lull and with a divorce and everything and kids and everything. So you just go through a bit of I wouldn't say depression, but you just go through a different way of life. So for a year, I spent shooting products. I shot Kubu baked bean tins. I can't tell you people how many times I've shot Kubu baked bean tins. Baked bean tins. I don't know why I had to shoot the same tin once a month for the client. You know, this is crazy. But anyway, so when I went back into doing events, I had so many clients ask me that one question. Hush, where have you been? Why have you left? You know, we missed you so much.
Mm.
Then I really felt, okay, I do. there's a service that I have that I give to clients.
mm,
That if they miss me for the work that I give them, means that I am good
mm,
at what I do. I always say to a lot of people, I'm, I'm I'm a blessed photographer. That's what I am. I'm a Christian, and I believe God has blessed me with what I've got. He's blessed me with my talent. He's blessed me with the people that I meet,
mm,
with the people that enjoy my photography. He
mm.
has blessed me with me. I've had the opportunity, and Mel, I'm going to say this. It's the weirdest thing. Many years ago, I would never market myself. I would never tell people who I photographed. Because to me, photographing somebody is, it's me. It's me. You know? I've never had a photograph taken with a celebrity. I've never stood next to a celebrity and had a photograph taken. Because I thought, no, I'm taking this picture. I
Mm.
had the privilege and the honor of working with Madiba for a year at the foundation, at his
Wow.
foundation. I've worked with the likes of Oprah, Will Smith. He's been to South Africa 3 times, and I worked with him on all 3 occasions because he actually phoned me from America to ask me to please be the photographer of choice for the event that he's coming to do. Um, I've worked with a lot of South African great musicians like Johnny Clegg and Lebo Matose and all these people.
Mm,
And I've never thought, to me, it was just, oh, I took the photograph, it's great.
mm.
But it is important to tell people that people that
Yeah,
people found you good enough
that's
to come
quite
and
an
do the job.
impressive list of customers that you've got
Yeah,
there.
yeah, thank
Most
you. And
photographers in
people
this
always ask me,
country would love to have that on their CV. That's very impressive. I feel like
as a
I'm talking to a
freelancer,
celebrity now myself.
like, but it's like as a freelancer, I've been very blessed. And I
Yes.
always say the guys that guys whose CVs are exceptional, are press photographers because
Okay.
they get to go and do this every day of their lives. You know, they get
Mm,
to. Tony used to always tell me that as a press photographer, you could never specialize in anything because
mm,
in the morning you'll be photographing Madiba at Tainis, and then by 1 o'clock you'll be in a protest in the middle of Alexander getting
mm,
shot at by the cops.
mm,
At 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, you'll be at the mayor's office doing a handover or a handshake. At
mm,
5 o'clock, you're at some cocktail party for some huge celebrity or some huge socialite that's having a big cocktail party.
mm.
And at 10 o'clock, you out on the road photographing the police arresting people for drunk driving or roadblocks and that.
Yes.
So, you said like there's never been a way as a press photographer you had to just be on the move all the time.
Yes.
And that's what Tony taught me.
Yes.
That in the old days, Tony used to always say to me that film is very cheap, but the moment you capture is the most priceless thing.
Yes.
So if you're going to be thinking, oh, I've only got 36 shots in this camera, I'm not going to get that shot, I'm not going to get that shot. He said, then you'll never become a photographer. Then you're just going to become a person who's going to click a button. But if you
Yes.
really want to be a photographer, don't think about the film, don't think about it. Just see the moment and capture those moments all the time.
Yes.
Because when you get back home and those days when you process your film, and nowadays when you download it onto your computer, you actually sit and you go, okay, I took 100 shots, and damn, I actually got 10, 20 good shots,
Yes.
and I wouldn't have got it if I was so frugal, thinking I better not shoot, I better not shoot, you know.
Yes.
But yeah, with
Yes.
digital now, it has become much easier. I mean,
Yes.
we end up shooting 2,000 images at a wedding, when in the old days we'd only shoot 300.
Yes.
Uh, we shoot the same thing at events, and you actually have some clients. I think it's unbelievable, but you actually have some clients where is that all you took? Yeah, but I was only there for 20 minutes. 20 minutes, I couldn't shoot more than what I took. But why don't I have more? So, yeah, digital has changed the landscape of photography quite a lot.
Yes.
Um, I mean,
And
the other morning,
how important is it to have like cutting edge gear?
look, as a professional photographer, you need the best gear. Um, I, I I went through a very bad patch last year. Yeah, last year. So I was booked to follow the president around, our current president. I was a social media photographer for his campaign trail for 30 days that he went on his campaign trail. and I had great gear. I had a top of the range Canon 1D Mark IV, and I bought myself top of the range Canon 2000, which I could shoot straight to a WhatsApp, so that we were on the roll all the time. As the president shook his hands with somebody, that picture was up on social media like within a minute, 2 minutes. And they broke into my place and literally cleaned me out of
wow.
replacement value, about between 500 and 700,000 rands of replacement value. Yeah.
Wow.
And the sad thing, I wasn't insured because with a photographer, insurance is quite high, and you kind of have to balance out: am I going to be able to feed the kids this month, or do I pay my insurance?
Yes.
And the sad thing is, I just cancelled the insurance in March,
Oh
and they broke
no.
into my place in April.
Sod's law.
Yeah, and then but I've got a friend of mine still had one of my older cameras. It's a Canon 650D. It's a very old, it's a very slow camera, but she's actually still very good. Shoots high res. When I get 20 meg files out of her, she's quite good. And I had to get it back from him, and that's what I've been using now for the last year and odd. But what I did do was I managed to save money and buy myself new lenses, and that's what makes the difference, I think, as well. You can have a slow camera, which will slow you down a bit, because sometimes, especially when you're doing events, say with the president walking, I mean, you need to capture the shots as fast as you can. So if you have a slow camera, you kind of going to get stuck. You're going to get 3 or 4 images, and then the card has to buffer. With a top of the range gear, you can get about 15 to 20 images. There's 15 frames a second before she has to buffer. So at least you know in that 15 frames you would have got 1 or 2 nice shots. So I would say that's one of the reasons. If you're going to become a professional photographer and you want to do this full time and you want to make money in it, it's advisable to save up and get the best gear you can.
Okay, that's very
good
useful
lenses
advice.
as well. Yeah,
Yes.
the most important thing is very good lenses. Strong, fast lenses. For years, obviously, when I left Sony, I had to start building up my own company. I did do the thing like most of us do. We bought secondhand because we had to kind of keep ourselves going. But the last 5 or 6 years now, I've been saving up and buying new rather, and waiting for the best lens to come out so that I can get good quality.
I think also the gear, the technology is progressing so fast that it's almost better to buy the new gear now, because you know that in 5 years' time it's going to be already outdated, I suppose.
Well, not even 5 years. I mean, they came out with the camera that I do want to get. I used to have an accountant that just always asked me that question. He said, "Hush, is it a necessity or is it a want?" Justify it me whether it was a necessity or a want. And there was a camera that I really wanted. It wasn't really a necessity, but it was really a want. It was the 1DX. It came out, but it was 100,000 rand.
Oh my goodness!
And he just looked at me and he says like, "No, this is not a want. This is not a necessity. This is a real want. Not spending 100,000 rand on a camera."
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I didn't have a car. At the time, I didn't have a car that was driving. I had a car that was getting stuck every 5 minutes. And he was like, "Spend the money on a car."
Buy the car. Well.
So, but I think, yeah, a good, you can get them second as well. A good second-hand, not too rugged camera. I'm very brand conscious, which is we all are. Many years ago, there was huge fights between Nikon and Canon. Those are the 2 top cameras to have in the world. Now, over the last 4 or 5 years, it's Canon, Nikon, Sony, Pentax that are now. Sony's doing very well. They're actually coming out with a lot of great, a lot of great gear. A lot of people are using, both on the videography side and on the photography side. Strange enough. And so, yeah, but I'm still brand conscious.
Okay, so Canon's your brand. Okay.
I always push Canon.
So
it's also what you become. I think it's what you become used to.
Yes.
If you know what I mean.
Yes.
You become acquainted with, and it's easy. I know I can pick up any Canon camera and I can shoot without a problem.
Yes.
So if I pick up a Nikon camera, I will go through an hour of first learning how to use the camera.
Yes.
Before I shoot.
So, Hush, we're coming to the end of our time. So, can you just give us some closing comments? What advice would you give to somebody who's aspiring to start their own business as a photographer? And then just where can we look out for you online and in those places?
Um, I've got a book. I don't read a lot of motivational books. It's not my brand of reading choices. But I got a book from a friend of mine called The Business in the 21st Century. And the thing that the author talks about there is if you want to become an entrepreneur, if you want to start a business, just do it. They said it's going to be difficult in the beginning, especially the first 5 years. It's going to be very difficult, but just do it. Don't allow anybody to be negative towards you. Um,
That's a
20
great
years
message.
ago, yeah, 22 years ago when I did this, that's what it. I can be honest with everybody and say I lost everything in the first year. I literally lost everything. I had nothing. The sheriff of the court came in and took everything. And people were like, "Oh, you're going to go get a good job now?" And I said, "No, this is all I love doing. I've been doing it for 20 years. It's been ups and downs. There's been months where I've been digging behind the couch to find some money to buy bread, and then the next month I'm eating caviar and eating steak and whatever. So there will be ups and downs I think in any industry, but especially in the creative industry.
Mm,
Just a quick, there was one of your questions was how are we surviving COVID-19? And I think this has been eye-opening for a lot of creatives,
mm,
COVID-19, because a lot of us didn't think this day would come where we would be locked up in a house and not being able to do the job that we love doing.
mm,
Photographers, videographers, actors, musicians, all of us.
mm,
Um, so a lot of what we're doing now, which we're very lucky with, a lot of online. You do a lot of online teaching. You go into master classes. You learn from other photographers. Learn from other people. I mean, I'm 55 years old, and I'm still learning. I still enjoy learning.
mm.
Um, I've been watching a few young photographers. The things that they do. I've loaded a picture up onto my Facebook page. I got a picture of my son reading the newspaper, and I lit the newspaper on fire
Mm.
because I saw it. I saw another photographer do it. So I thought, oh, I'm going to try that. It actually came out stunning. Um, so don't think just because um, you want to do this that people, and you're gonna have family ask you. That's one thing you're gonna have. I was very blessed. My family never asked me, but I know a lot of other photographers said to me. First thing their mother and father asked them is, "It's not a real job. It's a hobby. Why don't you become a doctor or a lawyer or something like that? Have you seen a rich photographer?
It's not a real
I've
job.
seen photographers that have made it.
Uh,
Yeah, I've seen photographers that have made it. That they are, they're able to eat caviar every day,
mm,
but they also do other things besides photography. That's what I'm doing now. Especially COVID-19 has opened my eyes to that. So I'm trying to teach photography. I've applied for a couple of places where I can try and teach, do master classes.
okay,
Just hone your skills. Yeah, I just love,
okay.
guys. Photography is a passion. Just go and pick up your camera and do it. Uh, don't allow anybody to tell you different.
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you so much for sharing your
The
inspiring story with us.
yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't have a website page, but I'm on Facebook as Jade Photography Visual Image Solutions.
Okay,
I'm on Instagram as Hush underscore and Jaded.
okay,
They'll ask me why my daughter has chosen that. But I've got a lot of things on Instagram. I've got a lot of things on my Facebook page.
okay,
And then you can find me on Flickr as well. You just type in Jade Photography in Flickr or Hush Naidoo in Flickr, and then my Flickr page will come up.
okay. That's awesome.
That's where I've uploaded a lot of things. Yeah,
That's awesome. Thank you for your time.
thank you, Mel.